Welcome back to our Rovers Walk. If you're an excited Rovers fan, then you're in good company. This week, we've got 4 fans who are looking forward to the reunion with John Eustace at Pride Park this Saturday. We're also talking about that Norwich result as well. Welcome back. Liam says, we released a real chicken in protest at the Venky, so I fully expect a live 15-foot python to be thrown at John Eustace this weekend. We're also talking all about Pride Park. We're also talking about Cantwell, and there's some issues with him at the moment. We're talking about our February Player of the Month as well, and we're manifesting the playoff final. Last week, we relegated some teams. This week, we're going to do the opposite and put 2 in the final. We've got Mark, Harry, Jason, and Tom back with us, and thank you very much for joining us as well. Right, Mark, how pumped are you for this one this weekend?
Yeah, very pumped up. If a month ago I wouldn't have been, it'd just been another league game and thinking, oh yeah, go to Derby, get 3 points. But yeah, I must admit this is a massive game now on Saturday, and yeah, I don't know, it worries me a little bit because I just think they've not scored and they're out of form. But and are they going to put that right against us on Saturday? And but pumped up massively for this one. And if I'd love to go there and win 3 or 4-0. I'd just absolutely love it at the weekend if we did that. So we'll have to see.
We'll look ahead to it in a second. Chris says, laugh at them all you want, but we're absolutely getting shouts. 1-0 at Derby next weekend, thanks to a 98th minute Ryan Nairnby winner, who of course is on his record for the longest period of an outfield player without scoring. Right, Harry, you got your plastic snake ready to wave in the air and go mental when you see Eustace come out of the dugout?
I think it's going to be a really exciting atmosphere at the game. I think it's going to have the atmosphere of a derby game, like if we were playing Burnley or Preston or someone like that. I think there's going to be they're going to really get behind the team because they're just going to want to win this game more than we've wanted to win pretty much any game this season, bar maybe the games against Burnley. I can just imagine if we end up taking the lead, the sort of chance that we'll be directed in Eustace's direction will be. Well, let's just say he won't want to hear them. But yeah, it's really exciting. It's quite weird to be a Rovers fan and really sort of looking forward to a game that's not necessarily playing Burnley or Preston or something like that. Just to see. I mean, we don't really know what to expect from the game because we don't really know what how Ishmael's going to set up this side yet. And of course, Eustace hasn't quite found his feet at Derby yet, so there's no guarantee it's actually going to be a great game of football. But in terms of the atmosphere and the animosity that's going to be in that crowd, because there has been a bit of back and forth between Rovers and Derby fans the last few weeks.
Oh yeah,
because they're sort of like, oh yeah, we've taken your manager, whatever. There's sort of the back and forth when they win, when we win, the sort of the banter on Twitter. So there's stuff building up to this game to be quite exciting. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think the atmosphere will be great.
Yeah. Just stay with you, Harry, for a second, because we've been speaking for a year, and most of our conversations have been how great Eustace is. In fact, when you went to, I think, the Leicester game last year, you sat close to his own family, didn't you? And they were talking to you. Is it going to feel weird for you, for someone who's championed him week in, week out, to be standing there booing the hell out of him?
Well, it's been a really weird sort of month because it's like there's someone here that you've had just complete admiration for the past 12 months, and then out of nowhere, he's now the villain. Like he's done a complete switch almost overnight when he left and went to Derby, and now you're always keeping an eye out. You're always hoping that Derby lose now, which feels really weird because I would never have expected to have this sort of animosity towards someone that I was always sort of hoping the best for, and I always imagined once he left Rovers, I would always want the best for him still because he was the way he conducted himself at the club, but then it ended so sourly. Everything's just changed now. So yeah, it's going to feel weird sort of chanting at him sort of in not necessarily the ways that we've grown accustomed to over the years. But that's football. Things move on, people change. It's always an ever-changing environment, and we're Ishmael's team now, so we're going to back him. And as far as we've got to be concerned on Saturday, Eustace is yesterday's man, and we've got to look forward to beating him. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, Cheers for that, Harry. Tom, your last away game was Swansea away, which didn't end very well at all. In fact, one of your worst performances of the season. Norwich, when we spoke to them, said you weren't brilliant against them. Are you slightly worried we're starting to see, new manager or not, Blackburn on a bit of a downward trend? Middlesbrough have had theirs. Is this the start of yours?
No, I'm quietly confident. I mean, normally if we collapse, it's February and early Jan. So I think we've kind of got over that. And the teams around us have also been dropping points. I think, as we discussed last week, we've got a very good run in all honesty, and we shouldn't really fear any of the teams around us that we're going to be facing the next couple of weeks. It does worry me a little bit going into a team that are shocking right now, because as all of us know, if ever you want to win, Blackburn's the team to play, because we tend to always slip up when it's a given. But no, I think with the new manager coming in, and I think the key thing that we're probably going to touch upon in a bit is we've got so many of our first team now coming back from injury. It's almost like having 4 or 5 new signings in, like Ohashi and Tronstad being back. Hayden Carter was a rock at the weekend. I think we've got players hitting form at the right time. Plus, with the new manager, I think getting Dean Whitehead in as well as an assistant coach, I think is a shrewd bit of business there by Ishmael as well. So I think there's lots of positives. And I think if we were going to slip up, Swansea aside, I think we've had some good results recently, in the fight back to get that 1-1 result at the weekend felt like a win, because how many times have we all watched Rovers go 1-0 down and just think, we've thrown it away again with 10 men, and to fight back and show that resilience to get to the 1-1 in the 98th minute. I think there's lots of positives, and I think we shouldn't be afraid of anyone. I think teams should be looking at us thinking, there could be a real threat this year, a bit of a dark horse. So I think we're going to the weekend full of confidence, really, and we're going to show John Eustace what he's missing.
Yeah. At the end of the video, we're going to ask you guys who you want to see in the playoff final. We've asked all our other fans, and lots of other teams have said we want Blackburn in the final. We want Blackburn Coventry. We want Blackburn Sunderland. Many have said there's an old-fashioned kind of Barclays one. So there is a love for Blackburn there. Obviously, Burnley didn't say that, obviously, but let's have a chat then about the Norwich game, Jason. Funny old game. It was just very quickly, and I mean very quickly. Referee.
I'm glad you've given me the referee. I was hoping you asked me about this referee, and I'll have a little bit of a rant and I'll keep it short. That is the worst performance I have seen from a referee in my 28 years watching football. It was appalling. It got to the stage midpoint in the second half where every decision got the stadium up in uproar. And it started turning to a nasty, hostile atmosphere, all because of the referee, not because of the standard of the tackles, what was going on, but it was the referee. He got pretty much everything wrong for both teams. The Don Mayhem elbow, that was a red card. I don't care who you were, that was a red card. It was stupid. I have no idea why he even did it. But it's week in, week out, we are seeing these performances from referees. They're getting too involved in the game. They're there to control the game, to manage the game, not to be the focal point of the game. And it's happening too often now, week in, week out, where nothing seems to get done. They never seem to get performance reviewed. They never seem to get reprimanded. He needs reprimanding for that, but it was awful for both teams. He was bad. Blatant penalty inside the box, didn't give it. Give a second yellow card for a guy who's gone for the ball to have a shot. He's every right to shoot. The defence has been to the ball. It's a foul. If you're going to give it a foul, it's a foul and a push. It is not a yellow card. Certainly not one that warrants a second yellow and a red. Like I said, Dom Mayhem should have been sent off. He just missed a bit. You can't say it's because he didn't want to get involved, because he did get involved. He got way too involved with the game. And I'm going to stop, otherwise this is all we'll talk about.
Yeah, I've refed a few games, not at school level, not anywhere big, and I when you know you've made a mistake as a referee, there is something in your back of your mind that says when something else happens, you do try and make amends for that. So do you think Dennis has fallen foul of the ref realizing actually, Hayham should have gone, so now I'm going to make it sort of even it up a little bit?
It's a good shout. The first yellow card for Dennis was a yellow. I know the Norwich fans are claiming it was a red. It was literally right in front of me and you, Mark, where you were sat. It was right in front of us. It was a yellow card. He had every right to go for the ball.
Yeah.
He was just, Chris Henry got there just before him, and he literally just booted the ball away to force the foul. I think it looked a lot worse than it was, but it was a yellow card. It was never red in a million years. But possibly because that Dom Iron one was a blatant red card. At the time I saw it, you couldn't really see from where we was. Something had clearly happened, but watching the replays are going around on social media, it is a stupid from somebody like Dom Iron. It's a stupid. There's got to be more to that. Some history between them or something. It was a peculiar thing to do.
Yeah.
At that stage,
We've had a bad weekend of referees. We've had one at Oxford, Coventry was bad. QPR, Sheffield United was bad as well. And you guys definitely had one as well. I'm not sure what's happening. Thanks for that, Jason. Mark, can we talk about Todd Cantwell, if that's okay? So, explain a couple of these to me and whether you believe them or not. Cantwell keeps dwelling too long on the ball, says Uncle Jack's rubber dinghy. He had a chance when to put through at goal, but crashed into their defenders. He can't score from open play. Another one here. Oh, that was the wrong way. I wanted to go. Oh, this one here. Hopefully, we start Yuki at 10 next week. Cantwell is so pointless. He does a few nice touches and turns, but doesn't do much else. Poor again today. And this one, this was credit where credit's due. Hedges did well when he came on. Hooray!
Love him, mate.
Love him, Mark. Come off it. Slagging him off last week. Right, Mark. Let's talk about Cantwell.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's happened with Cantwell. I know we spoke about 3-4 months ago when obviously he first come into the team and we were all saying what a player this guy is, and I still generally believe that he is. He's got that quality to be a very, very good player. He's just been really off the boil recently, and Saturday again. A couple of the tweets alluded to it then, and sometimes, and I liken him to Dolan as well. Again, if things come off, it looks brilliant, and you think, oh, what a player. But when the game's not going really well, and you need your players to dig in deep or something like that, or just keep it simple, that's when it shows, and you're giving needless balls away. And he has been poor for a few games now. And fully enough, I saw Jason before the game on Saturday, and we were talking about Cantwell, and we were both saying, obviously, he had that injury or illness, whatever it was, and he doesn't look the same player since he come back from that. So we don't know what he had, but he's just not looked. I don't know. He's just lacked that energy, and he's just not looked the same player as he did a couple of months ago. So I don't know. It's a mystery, but again, similar, like I said, similar to Dolan, and I was quite pleased with Ishmael that he actually on the hour mark, he took the 3 players off. I said, they needed to come off: Cantwell, Dolan, and Forshaw. He got his them subs absolutely spot on. They were the worst 3 players on the pitch for us on Saturday, and so hopefully he'll pick up. You think, let's hope he gets he does pick up in the last few games of the season. But yeah, just another frustrating player. As I said, if things come off, it looks really good. But when it doesn't, it's just keep it simple. Just I don't know. But yeah, it was a very poor performance on Saturday, unfortunately.
Okay. Harry, anything to add to that?
It strikes me I think he's might be trying too hard. I think he's gone on a bit of a bad run. He's not really had the rub of the green, and now the fans are starting to question whether he was worth. I know we didn't pay that much money for him, but in terms of wage, we pay a lot for him. And he knows. I think he knows how much quality he's got, and he knows he should be producing and can be producing more than he produces. So I think sometimes he tries to take on that extra man, tries to play that bit more difficult pass rather than just taking it back to basics at times. I think he's trying too hard to prove his own worth. I think he needs to sort of take a step back, sort of simplify it a little bit, and let that let that come, and it might take a few games where he's not involved as such, but when he's on it, he's one of the best players on the pitch. I think it was the Plymouth Argyle game where he was completely outstanding. The thing that kind of baffles me is when he first came in, he looked a level above. He looked really strong, not just in terms of his creativity, but in terms of like tracking back, winning tackles, picking it up from defence, and like you don't really see that from him anymore. He sort of jogs around the pitch a lot now, which wasn't the player that we got when he first came in. So I don't know what's happened there, because it was when he first came in, there was a lot of talk about him only being at sort of 60-70% fitness, and he was still doing really well. And when he gets to full fitness, we're going to see a completely different player. But now he's at full fitness. He's worse than the player he was when he wasn't fit. So I don't know if this little injury setback or illness or whatever it was has set him back a little bit. But he doesn't seem to be doing the same things that got him so much plaudits at the start. And I think he's just trying a bit too hard in certain situations to do a bit too much to be that player that we all know he can be. So I think he just needs to sort of take it back a little bit and start doing the basics right, and then the more advanced stuff will come.
Okay. Yeah, still a quality player, and I suppose Norwich fans did enjoy it a little bit, him having an off day as well. Cheers for that, both of you. Two other players that have gone missing, Tom, for you to digest, if that's okay. Blackburn Guy says, has anyone seen Dolan and Guy? They've not been seen since the West Brom game. Do you agree with it?
Not really. I think Gay's done really well. He's up front on his own. He's a lone target man, and I think his hold-up play is really good. He hasn't really had many chances, and I think perhaps he should have scored in the first half with the cross from Ribeiro when he fired it in and Gay headed it over the bar. That was probably his only really clear-cut chance he had during the game. The balls are coming into him, but it's not quite working out like it has done. But I think he's still probably at the moment our most informed striker. I know Hashi's coming back, and I mean, me and Jason were chatting about this again in the week about Dennis, a bit of a bizarre signing, and he comes on as his chance, and then he gets himself sent off. So I think Gay has done more than enough, I think, to warrant a starting place in the team. Dolan's a funny one, because we've all got so much time for Dolan, and I think he just wants to be loved by the fans, and he's openly come out and said that he's very much a confidence player. And I think that's what he really kind of hit him hard when Eustace left, because he was almost like a father figure to him, and he gave him a chance to really kind of to excel and have that free reign on the wing and cut inside and just kind of do what he wanted. I think under a new manager it might be a bit different, but there's a player there in Dolan, and we all know it's so frustrating, because on his day he can be one of the best players in the division. And I think a lot of neutral fans that flick on, or away fans that don't watch Rovers play. I mean, the Burnley fan who was on our podcast not so long ago, he was saying Dolan was the one player he was afraid of, because he was the one player that was a threat. But I think having seen Carbo come in, Carbo is doing what Dolan should be doing week in, week out, with an end product to it, which he hasn't got. Same with Cantwell. So he's still also holding Rovers a bit ransom with this contract, and we don't know what's going to go on. So I think it will be a shame to see Dolan go, because when he first joined Rovers, he was like a little boy, and he's really kind of grown. And has he fulfilled his potential? I don't know, but I do like him. I just think we need a bit more from him. There's no real end product. And now we've got players coming back from injury, and players hitting form. There is going to be, questions about does he deserve a place to start on the team. But I think overall, Gay deserves a spot, and Dolan, the jury is still out with him.
All right. Cheers for that. Jason, just finally with you then. Obviously, Ballerin's first game in charge. We can't really tell too much about him, but were you impressed at all?
It's the passion. His reaction after we equalised, which I know the manner in which we scored, in the circumstance, we're down to 10 men in the last kick of the game, all that, I get it. But after the game, hugging players, like he already had that bond with them. He hugged every single player on that pitch. Even the players who he didn't even come on the pitch. He was, and it's that he seems like a man's man, if you know what I mean, where he wants to be close to the players, and he's trying to already, even this early, to build that bond, and this is going to sound the weirdest comment ever, but they were proper hugs he was giving them. It weren't like a handshake, they were proper hugs, do you know what I mean? Like I give my missus that type of hug, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's what I took away from it the most was his reaction after the game, after the whistle had gone. He went to every single player on that pitch and gave them all a little bit of a cuddle, say, I've got you, don't you? Do you know what I mean? That sort of thing. And it's, but I was coming across in interviews, and that accent has won me over already. So,
Boom.
That's all right.
Cheers for that, Jason. Right, on to February Player of the Month then. One name, Mark.
Been a poor month really, but I'll go with Ribeiro. Since we signed him and he's come into the team, he's looked really well in this last few games, so he'd be my player.
Harry?
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. I think we were a bit worried when Beck and whatever had a few injuries, but he's come in. I think certainly the Plymouth game, he was outstanding. Not really had a bad game. So yeah, Ribeiro for me.
Cheers. Tom?
Yeah, I was going to say the same. Maybe also someone like Callum Britton. I think on the right-hand side, he's done really, really well. His crosses have been brilliant this year, and he's strong and works hard for the team. So, yeah, Ribeiro or Callum Britton, I think, for me.
And Jason?
Yeah, echo what Tom said. Callum Britton's getting a bit boring now because he's one of our best players every month. So, I thought Dom Iron. I think he's not getting recognition. I know he did something stupid on Saturday, but that was March, so we can't include that. I think he's been brilliant. But Ribeiro, for me, to come into a new squad straight in to perform, he's putting in brilliant.
Oh, okay. If you're just coming across the channel, do press the subscribe button. It would be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. Lastly, last week we relegated 3 sides, which we didn't like at all. This week we're putting 2 sides into the Championship final, which has now been announced as the 24th of May. Let's have a look. And of course, Rovers, of course, are there. So we're going to presume all of you are going to put yourselves into that Wembley final. Come a nice hot summer's day in May. So, Mark, you're walking down Wembley Way with the family and the scarves and everything. Who would you love to see walking the other direction as a fan base?
It's difficult, really. I mean, obviously, certainly not Burnley. I think for me, I mean, I could see it if it'd be somebody like West Brom, with a Tony Mowbray connection. I could see it somebody like that. Coventry definitely no, because I think they just get guaranteed to beat us. But I think Middlesbrough would be a good game. I think Rovers Middlesbrough would be really evenly matched. So probably somebody like them, I think.
Okay. Cheers, Harry.
Well, it depends what your criteria. If this is your sort of dream,
one, yeah.
And I can dictate how it's going to play out, then it's us versus Burnley, and we beat Burnley at Wembley. I mean, that would just sort of completely be revenge for what they did at our place a couple of years ago. But if it's not that, then probably someone crap like Preston.
Jason,
I'm not saying anything. I'm with Harry.
Okay.
Exactly
Tom.
what Harry said. Exactly.
Okay. Tom.
Yeah, I think both, Mark, Harry, and Jason have all made good points there. But I think, yeah, if it wasn't Burnley in the final, I think I've got a good friend who's a Middlesbrough fan, and we have regular chats about, who's going to go up every year. They've hit a bit of form at the moment. Perhaps Middlesbrough, Coventry again. Like you said earlier, that the Barclays link there back in the day, 2 good Premier League sides with some good players. Yeah, I mean, if Blackburn got anywhere near the playoff final, I'll be over the moon regardless who we're playing. So I don't really know. I don't really mind either way. Just we're one of there's only 4 teams that haven't played at the new Wembley, and we're one of them. That's embarrassing. So just get to Wembley. That's the mission.
Okay, brilliant. Right. Good luck this weekend against Derby. It can't happen, can it? It just can't happen. They get his first win against his old club. Oh dear. Pity me next week if it does happen. Right, we'll see you in 7 days' time. Good luck at Pride Park. Enjoy the day out. Plastic steaks on sale. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Have a good one.